All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this amazing interview. We're doing a very special interview today in celebration of International Women's Day, which is on March 8th, which is a great opportunity to challenge the status quo, challenge gender bias, and elevate women in the industry, and particularly in the fitness industry, and just celebrate everything that we've done, how far we've come, and where we're going to go. And I have with me, by the way, I'm Melony dos Remedios. I'm the owner and CEO of the Personal Training Academy. And it is my pleasure and my honor to interview the lovely Deborah Goldberg. Now, Deborah is a fitness tech diva. She is the co-founder of the Fuel Women's Fitness Business Summit. She is the startup scale-up extraordinaire. And she is also an ambassador of Women in Fitness Association. So when we talk women, when we talk fitness, we combine the two, we got to go to Deborah. Wow. So Deborah Goldberg, thank you so much for joining me. And really, this is, in celebration of women and challenging gender bias in the fitness industry. So first of all, thank you so much. And as I said earlier, I love those hoops. But looking very good. So tell me a little bit about who you are and your background in fitness.
Thank you, Mel, for having me and for creating this interview celebrating women in fitness, especially such an important day as International Women's Day. So my journey in the fitness industry, I think I'm going to start it as a business owner, even though fitness has always been in my life. I actually launched Zumba Fitness in the APAC region over 10 years ago with a business partner who's also a woman. We're both Latinas in an Anglo country, so you can imagine sort of all the struggles and stigmas that sort of came with launching a brand, that sort of does celebrate our Latin heritage, Latin culture, music. It started back in 2007, took us for an amazing journey. Then I was able to launch another program called Piloxing, which is also founded by 3 women. And since then, really being involved in the industry as very active within the community, creating jobs, creating opportunities for really everyone. And here I am, 3-4 years ago, I launched my own products in tech, one called Sabaclass, one called Morphus. And 2 years ago, in 2018, Alicia Smith, which is another incredible woman in the industry, we launched the Fuel Summit Fitness Business Summit. And
that was an amazing event. I have to say, I was there. The dynamic was incredible. The energy was so great. Well done to both of you for that event. That was bananas.
Thank you. No, and I think part of the success was having presenters like yourself and everyone. I think we had around 10 women presenters. They all added so much value to the day, to their experience. And I know they've created and changed so many lives since then. And hopefully we'll be able to host it again this year.
Ooh, that is exciting. So the kind of theme for this year's International Women's Day is choose to challenge. And that's really what we want to talk about is how do we choose to challenge gender bias? How do we choose to speak out about the successes that women have had in the fitness industry? So particularly in the fitness industry, I've been in the industry myself for a very, very, very long time. And I have seen a lot of things change and evolve, particularly for women. And one of the things that I noticed just on a very surface level, just being in the gym now, I remember when I first started going to the gym, I was one of the only females in kind of the weights, powerlifting area. And now when I go to the gym, there's just as many women in there as men. So that's just one little simple thing that I've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
So what have you kind of noticed has changed in the last 10 years for women within the fitness industry?
You know, the biggest change that I've seen personally in the last 10 years in the industry in Australia is that we see more women have gone up into the executive level, and we can see more women on that C-suite level, right? You have incredible, and not only CEOs, we're seeing more women in the operations side of the business. You know, you go to FLG, you have Ricky Felishek as their operations manager. I know World Gym just appointed another woman running their operations, COOs, CAEOs. It's just wonderful to see that change happening in the C-suite level. So I think
what do you think is, sorry, what did you say?
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, what do you think kind of stimulated that? Because I know personally in my experience, you know, working with Fitness First and some of the other big companies, and then kind of seeing the leadership dynamic, you know, there were always, you know, women there, but it seemed like it was quite challenging for them to kind of get seen at that next level. What do you think has changed in the last 10 years that it now has allowed them to move to that level? Or is there anything you could pinpoint?
From my own personal experience and my vision, I see social media giving us that extra courage to raise our hand, right? And I know that's sort of part of the International Women's Day theme this year is not only to choose to challenge, but just to also raise your hand. Right? We're not only leaning in, we're also raising our hands, asking questions, taking that job that maybe we were afraid to take 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So our mentors that maybe already left the industry would have been scared to raise their hand. I think we are now more not only courageous, but vulnerable to be able to raise our hand and, you know, maybe take a no for an answer, but nothing is stopping us now to, you know, keep asking questions, keep challenging, and we're not afraid. And I think social media and having so much information available to our generation, I think that's changed the way we're more courageous. And yeah.
Wow, that's powerful. I think I've noticed that as well. And I guess the other thing is, I don't really want to leave men out of this conversation as well, because I feel that there's been a lot of growth as far as they're concerned as well. So what do you think, how do you think men have contributed to women being more accepted in these senior roles?
I think, you know, I believe that those men that are currently in the executive level, sitting in boardrooms, are maybe more educated, right? Or maybe their mothers.
They're good moms.
But I feel this generation, you know, men in their 40s, 50s are more aware of equality. You know, the three words that we've been hearing a lot, the last 2 years especially, it's your diversity, equality, and inclusion, right? So I think companies and corporations are being more responsible in educating their staff and bringing more awareness into the workplace. And sometimes, you know, new regulations, new laws, I think that also makes big changes in the workplace that educate men and women as well, because we learn more about what are our rights.
True.
Right? And where we can, you know, be ourselves and, you know, bring equality into the workplace. Yeah.
And what do you think in terms of women's leadership styles? Have you noticed any changes in the way that women are leading, or do you have any tips or ideas for women who want to become leaders?
I think there's been a huge change in leadership the last 15 to 20 years. I believe I know that women don't have to be another man, right? We don't have to be another bloke sitting on the boardroom or teaching or educating that next generation. We now comfortable in who we are as women, and we don't need to pretend to be something we're not. So I think that's where the leadership change that I've seen coming through the industry, especially.
And we've seen that globally as well with some of women in leadership. I personally feel that there's more appreciation for what a woman could bring to leadership, as well as what men can bring to leadership. And I guess there's different ways of doing things and getting the same outcome or a different outcome.
Oh, definitely. I think also we are more emotionally intelligent and emotionally aware. I don't know if intelligent, but we are a little bit more aware of people's feeling and thoughts and reactions as well. So that has to change in your leadership, in your management, and in the outcome, not only in your business, but that group fitness class that you're teaching, right? And we've seen the change as well there, in advertising, in marketing, how big box gyms are marketing or selling themselves as being a safe place, inclusive place for everyone, right? We're not all front row divas, but we need all of us, right? But I think that change also comes through our educators. Who are we teaching the instructors that need to invite to be in that front row, or who's on the stage teaching your classes? What kind of biases does the GFI has, or GFM, or your group fitness manager has when they hire an instructor? Are we all the same? Are we hiring the same kind of person? Or are we bringing that diversity, equity, and inclusion to the gym, right? It's not about diversity. Oh, we have someone who's white, someone who's brown, someone who's darker. You need to bring diversity and experience as well.
Amazing.
Right.
And I guess, when we talk about, that's an interesting point you made about the group fitness manager potentially having a bias. And I think that's something that we all have biases, and most of us are unconscious about them. So I guess, we're opening up that kind of conversation about do we have a bias, and do other women have biases about other women, and what assumptions are we making about the people in our business? What assumptions are we making about the people that we hire? And do we have a bias? Like, I think in general, we're talking about women particularly, but that's a really good question just to ask yourself when you're engaging with people is, do I have a bias here? Am I making some assumptions? And I think that's, if more people can become aware of that, then their decisions are going to be made from a different place, looking at the entire suite of things that person can offer, rather than gender, race, all these other things.
Oh, definitely. Even me as a case, my surname couldn't be more Anglo-Saxon, right? But I am Latina. So people already think, oh, Goldberg, how are you Latina? So there's that unconscious bias already.
Yes.
That, just because you're Goldberg, you're not going to bring diversity into a boardroom.
Right. Assumptions being made there.
Straight out.
Yeah.
Or maybe if my surname was more, different, more Latino sounding, maybe I also...
Like Lopez,
Martinez, right? straight away, I would be, I'm sure it would be different. My opportunities would be so different and limited, right? Because you bring in so many minorities onto the table. So
yeah, it is interesting. It is, and I think that's changing a lot as well. Like AOC in the States is really, she's changing a lot of things for the Latino community, and a Latina woman, who, she's doing amazing things for that community.
Yes.
So that's all. I think that's all really cool. I think there's some good things happening, and I think a lot more women are being accepted into leadership roles. What do you think, like, for new women coming into the fitness industry now at this point in time, what's something that you would tell them in terms of getting the most out of this industry?
Number one, find a mentor. Mm-hmm. Find a group that you feel comfortable expressing yourself, asking questions, how you can, launch your first class. If you have trouble, where do you go? And I know currently we have the Women in Fitness Association, WIFA. We're an amazing association. It's a non-for-profit association based in the US, but currently we do have global reach with many ambassadors in Europe, Australia, New Zealand. We are 4 ambassadors here in Australia, 2 in New Zealand, and we're here to help that new generation coming through. So definitely, number one advice: put your hand up, ask questions, and find us. Right?
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
So in terms of your journey, I'm sure that you've had your challenges, and you've had, the assumptions made about you, or, you've had challenges, right? People think, she's Latina. No, she's not Latina. She's a woman. So, so I'm sure that you've had to do a lot of work to kind of put your hand up. So how were you able to put your hand up in spite of all of these kind of biases and opinions and judgments? How'd you do it?
I think it's easier said than done, right? My parents raised me up quite resilient. I think because they're still very hippie, very in touch with feelings and awareness and equality, and that resilience that comes when you immigrate, right? When you move to a different country, that's something that, I don't know if it's a scar, but just keeps you going. You have to, that your parents have sacrificed so much to get you to where you are now, that you have to keep going, and you need to find your support system, even though it's your husband or your children or your business partner, or mentors like yourself, Mel. I know you've added so much and helped me so much to become a better presenter, better speaker. So it's really finding others to help you get where you need to be.
So what I hear you saying is that, the background, kind of the drive to overcome the kind of stigma of the, being an immigrant and all of those things, I could imagine it would light a fire in you and do that for generations. And also what I hear you saying is that you don't have to do it alone. I feel that, maybe there are a lot of women getting into the fitness industry, or having challenges or whatever else. And I know that, a lot of women take on a lot of responsibility. And, even our students that I speak to, a lot of our students are mothers and wives, and, running businesses and studying and things like that. And a lot of women, I think what we can suffer from is that we try to take everything on, and we try to, soldier through and do things without asking for that assistance or for that help. Or it's almost like we feel like we shouldn't be asking, or we don't deserve to ask for help, or this is, we've got to do this all on our own.
Yeah. And it's an assumption that if you ask for help, you're weak.
Mm-hmm.
On the contrary, I think asking that question and raising your hand up is courageous.
Mm-hmm.
You are believing in yourself. You have that belief that, oh my God, I got all these things to do. I need help. I need support, because we need to take care of our mental health. We have so many people that, we are taking care of, but we need to take care of ourselves first before anyone else.
100%.
And that's why you have girlfriends, even boyfriends, right? Boys are friends, just to make that clear. And it's that support system, 100%. That's why mothers groups are so successful. So we in the industry, we need our own women's group, mothers group. And for now, if I'm wrong or correct, I think currently WIFA is really that only place where I found that support. And with the Fuel Summit as well, you also need to make the most of a platform that you already created to help others.
Which is amazing. And it's kind of like the message is like, we're here to support you on this kind of journey that you're on, and ask for some help and some support and some guidance. And don't be ashamed of that. Again, it goes back to putting the hand up, doesn't it? And asking for help, asking to be seen, asking for your opinions to be heard, and asking to have an equal shot at whatever it is that your dreams and your aspirations are. Because guess what? Happens if you don't ask.
Exactly. I think that the time of leaning in that's it. We need to lean in and then raise our hands up and challenge the status quo, challenge ourselves to become better business owners, women, friends, lovers, mothers.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I agree. So on the Women in Fitness Association, I would love if we could get a link to that for our community. Particularly, so many of our students are women, working women, mothers, and I would love to connect them with that community so that they can reach out. So I'm sure that you'll give us links and everything for that.
Definitely.
And then if anyone wants to get in touch with you for anything kind of tech related or startup related, you are a startup wizard. You know how to isolate the problem that needs to be solved and then create that solution. So if anybody's looking to get started with that kind of thing, I'm sure that people would be able to get in touch with you. So I'll make sure that we get all of those links for this video. It's so amazing chatting with you, and I really appreciate all that you're doing for women in fitness. It's incredible. Keep it up, and keep inspiring, and girl, don't stop.
We need each other, when women get together, incredible things happen. So we're not alone. You need to know you're not alone. We're here to help you and everyone else. We're a family.
Amazing. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Mel.
Bye.